Hello. Today we will take you on a journey through evolution. In this documentary, we will teach you all about the common misconceptions that many have about evolution. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn all about evolution. Thought evolution caused organisms to improve.
In order for organisms to improve, they must change who they are to become perfect. According to the Lamarck theory, organisms are always striving to become perfect. The theory states that organisms can use and reuse their adopted traits and can also pass them on to their offspring. This theory has been proven wrong. The right theory is proven by Charles Darwin. This theory states that for organisms to survive, they must adapt to the environment or die out. It is survival of the fittest. The only way that organisms can survive is by having the trait to get whatever they need to survive. Since the environment is constantly changing, no organism truly ever reaches perfection anyways.
Thank you so much.
Is evolution observable or at least testable?
Yes, evolution can be observed in nature. For example, different types of butterflies are able to survive because of their unique traits that each one has. There is a black and white butterfly that sit on the same tree. The pattern of the black butterfly blends into the color of the tree, making the white butterfly visible to their predators. The white butterfly species die out because of the color of their wings. Evolution is shown by the white butterfly dying out because over time the predators are eating them, and the black butterflies are surviving because they blend into the environment. Scientists are able to track the species and examine fossils to observe changes like this happening in nature.
Gaps in fossil record disprove evolution, right?
One common misconception about evolution is that gaps in the fossil record disprove it, meaning that since we are unable to find all the fossils of a species that has evolved over time in all its different forms as it gradually changes, then the species is not evolving according to natural selection, but drastic changes are occurring since all the fossils are not found. This is not true. Lots of organisms don't fossilize well, and the environmental conditions for forming good fossils aren't that common. So it's normal for there to be gaps in the fossil record. Science actually predicts that for many evolutionary changes, there will be gaps in the fossil record, because the environmental conditions make it difficult for fossils of the organism to form. So there you have it. Just because there are gaps in the fossil record doesn't mean that evolution didn't occur during that time. It simply means that fossils weren't found due to environmental conditions.
Natural selection involves organisms trying to adapt. Correct.
Common misconception about evolution is that the organisms try to change their genetic material. Organisms do not try to adapt. Adaptation is a process in which the initial organism has no control of what changes or when. These genetic variations become present when the organism's environment changes and the organism needs to change in order to survive. An example of this is that Lamarck believed that animals tried to adapt and they would pass that new trait to their offspring. For example would be the giraffe's neck, extending over time to reach higher trees. This was disproven because genetics can't be changed intentionally by the organism itself. All of the change in the genetic material is a result of a mutation in their genetic code. These non-voluntary mutations caused the affected to survive and continue to live.
Natural selection is the only way that population can change over time. Am I right?
This is also false. Genetic mutation also accounts for how a population changes over time. Although it's quite rare, occasionally an organism will have a mutation in its DNA that generates a trait that actually helps the organism survive in its natural environment. As a result, this gene becomes widely inherited as generations proceed. Therefore, the introduction of new traits through genetic mutation of gametes also causes a population to change over time. Natural selection is not the only way. So there you have it. I hope that cleared up all your misconceptions about evolution. Thanks for listening.